Thanks for joining us here on Focus on Africa from BBC World News, and a very happy new year to our viewers everywhere. Now, after weeks of deadlock, a deal has been signed in the Democratic Republic of Congo to end President Joseph Kabila's 15-year rule in the country. Mr. Kabila's official mandate expired last month, but elections scheduled for November were postponed. Ensuing protests led to dozens of people being killed. The agreement was brokered by the Catholic Church and was signed by senior government ministers and opposition members late on New Year's Eve. But neither President Kabila or opposition leader Etienne Tshisekedi have added their signatures yet. So what exactly is in the deal? Most importantly, Mr. Kabila will not be allowed to seek a third term as president. Instead, he will lead a unity transitional government until elections, which must be held by the end of 2017. In the meantime, an opposition politician will be appointed as prime minister. This was the reaction of one government minister after the signing ceremony in Kinshasa.
Here is what the Congolese people can achieve when they work amongst themselves. Our foreign partners must learn to let us solve our problems here. We haven't even had foreign facilitation, but we've still reached important compromises between us.
Well, let's discuss this a bit further now. I'm joined by Vava Tampa, a native of the DR Congo and a founder of the rights group Save the Congo. Vava, both groups don't trust themselves, so how are they going to keep to this agreement?
Well, that's the key question, and the success of this deal essentially depends on two things. One is Tshisekedi, the main opposition figure, remaining alive, and the second is essentially the international community keeping a tight focus on Kabila and Congo.
And I mean, let me just explain when you say remaining alive, because he's well into his 80s, we believe, isn't it, Etienne?
Absolutely. And the opposition group in Congo Rassemblement essentially is two things. It's Etienne Tshisekedi's principle and Moïse Katumbi's energy. Those are the two things that makes the Rassemblement the opposition group. And Moïse Katumbi has been kept out of Congo so far. And if Tshisekedi essentially falls down, and God forbid it doesn't fall down, then this deal could easily unravel.
But for now, it's essential to understand that they've agreed to this deal, the opposition on the one side and the government. That's despite the two highest signatures, so to speak, not being put on the piece of paper. But what about the Congolese people? What do they make of this deal? Do they agree with it?
Well, I'll tell you what, it has delayed democracy, the progress of democracy, for another year. But nonetheless, it's an amazing deal, because this deal essentially translates in three words, which is Kabila must go. Regardless of whatever it does, in a year's time, by the end of this year, in fact, Kabila would have to step down. He's not going to have a third term. He's not going to change the constitution, which is essentially what the Congolese people have been pushing for. Not to touch our constitution and for democracy to go forward. So it is a good deal, although it has delayed us in 1 year.
Well, the reason why President Kabila did not leave in November this year is because elections could not be held. What are the chances of those elections being held by the end of next year, as stipulated for in the agreement, given the security situations in the eastern DR Congo, and we're beginning to see some new situations come up in the west of the country?
Well, we expect essentially that there will be new militia gangs who would come into existence to attempt to derail this process. But nonetheless, the Congolese people are determined. And I believe we have the willing, the means, and the capacity to organize those free elections at the end, by the end of the year. So what essentially now needs to happen is for the international community to step up and to ensure to sustain this deal and to provide the finances needed, as well as the experts that we need to organize those elections. It can be done if we push it.
Okay, Vava Tampa, thank you very much for talking to us here on Focus on Africa. Now let's look at